It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up. All right, what's happening? Good morning, everybody. It is Friday, November 22nd. I'm fired up this morning. I have my coffee already, and I'm ready to start answering some questions this morning. We're going to do another episode of Ask Me Anything. I had a lot of people message me after these episodes saying that they kind of like the informal format of this to mix it up a little bit. So that's what we're going to do. I got a couple questions to start off with here, but if you guys have some questions, feel free to fire them in the comments. I'll get them live right here, and I'll be able to fire you back some insight, hopefully something that will be helpful to you. So we're going to cover a lot of stuff this morning, from a little bit of sales, a little bit of business culture. We're going to talk a little bit about the Goal Digger Retreat. We're going to talk some books and whatever else you guys want to talk about. So if you guys have any questions at all, fire them in the comments. But for now, we're going to jump into what I've got on my list right here. And as soon as I shut this thing off, I'm going to start on the list that I have here. That is 4 different questions. So the first one is, a lot of people ask me this question about sales. And first of all, I want to say good morning, Chris, Trisha, another Chris, Lydia, Jeff, Dayton, Dean, Bruce, and Patricia. What's happening, guys? And thank you for being here. So, but I get a lot of questions around how to sell some of the large accounts. We share a lot about, who we do business with at the Pavement Group and things like that. And people want to know how to sell those types of accounts. And I think that, to be honest, most of the people that ask that question think that there's a different answer to it. And I think that this is applicable, by the way, in every aspect of life and any type of sales in today's world. Because I think sales has changed so much, and the way that business is transacted has changed so much. And I think that a lot of people still see it the old way because no one has ever really pointed it out to them. So I wanna just touch on that real quick. So how you would sell large commercial accounts is really how you would try to do almost anything in this world. How you would try to build a relationship or a friendship. How you would do a better job in your marriage. How you would sell any type of a one-on-one person, an individual, anything. And that is to try to bring as much value as you possibly can through that building of the relationship, right? And so when we go into these types of accounts, these large accounts that we go into, the amount of work that we put out on the front end is a really good indicator of why we do so well on the back end. And so I say that, and I want you guys to think about how that applies to everyday life. And so in your family life, I can't leave my wife hanging all the time with things that I should be doing or value that I should be bringing to our marriage and expect for our marriage to continue to be as pleasant and happy and fulfilled as it is. That's not how it works, right? And so in the world of sales, I would tell you, continue to put value first. Really try to understand the person that you're selling, much like you would try to understand the person you're trying to build a relationship with. And so if you can take problems away from the person that you're trying to build a relationship with or you're trying to transact business with, if you can solve their problems, there will be money exchanged for that. If I can solve problems for my wife, if I can take those problems off of her plate, then there's going to be some love, some affection, some care, and her reciprocating those types of things to me. So it's good in life and it's good in business to always put value in other people first. And when you do that, everything just kind of works. There's a lot more to how to sell those accounts, but I want you guys to think about that more so than the actual sales process and things like that it takes. I will tell you this. One tip that's kind of a tactical tip is, to ask as many questions as you can and make sure that those questions are surrounding exactly how someone has made these types of decisions in the past. Past behavior usually predicts future decisions. And so when you get into that, think about all the questions that you would need to ask that help you predict that type of behavior and also help you be able to build a relationship and have the ability to solve those problems. That's sales in today's world. And it's really, I tell people sales in today's world, the people who are really good at it, and that's the same, by the way, for all the way back, but the people who are really good at it, they're not really selling people anything. They are providing solutions to problems that people have that nag them on a day-to-day basis, and money is exchanged when problems are solved. So hope that helps, guys. Chris, like for instance, I'm meeting with a property owner this morning who owns multiple storage facilities. Man, you're in for a treat. Buckle up, because I do this all day, every day. So Chris, some of the things that you're going to want to ask them are, what are the things that really keep you up at night? What are the nagging issues that you have as a facilities manager or a property manager that manages multiple locations? What are some of the challenges that you have in your day-to-day that in an ideal world, if I could solve one of those problems for you, what would that look like? And what you're going to find, man, is there's a couple consistent issues that they're going to have. And number one is that they don't even really know the condition of all of these properties that they have. And if they can learn the condition of these properties, if you can educate them by assessing these properties for them, so if there's, a handful of them, you would go and just take a good look at, however many, a couple, and show them all of the repairs that need done, the current condition of that lot, where they should be allocating their budget. Those are the types of things that help them be able to make better decisions by having the correct data. Because here's what they're doing correctly. Here's what they're doing incorrectly right now is they're getting individual bids for individual properties. And essentially what they're getting is individual opinions based on that particular property. But how their actual job works is that they have to manage an entire portfolio of properties. So they have to understand where to spread that money around everywhere. And what happens is people basically give them the highest recommendation on what they should be doing to make their parking lot perfect again, because they're not taking into consideration that they have 12 other properties or 10 other properties, in some cases hundreds of other properties. So asking the right questions, man, about what their current budget is, what other properties they manage. Do they manage everything, or do they just manage parking lots? Because that'll tell you how to educate them, on what level to educate them on, I should say. But the biggest thing is, man, was what criteria are you going to be using to be making this decision, so that you can understand kind of where price ranks and what's important to them. Is it quality? Is it project management? All those kinds of things. And, I would love to have that conversation with you in further detail offline, man. I don't know what time your meeting is. I've got a 8 o'clock and a 9 o'clock, but if I could squeeze you in somewhere before, I could give you, more details, and I could provide you with a list of questions that we use through Top Contractor School to kind of help point you in the right direction there. But that portfolio view is probably your hook there, is like, how do I help you simplify managing every property that you have? That's the key. How about mentioning how you give them the best customer experience while the crews are actually there working, causing hell to their community? Would that help sell? Short answer is, Dom, yes. I believe that project management, so front end, assessing their properties and being a great partner to them to be able to get them the right information. One of the things that we say frequently at the Payment Group is we believe that you should make your decisions based on facts and data. And I'd be happy to show you guys, how much detail we provide in our proposals so that a customer has no question about what we're doing, how the project's going to be phased, what it's going to look like as we're doing it. And then while we're on site, Dom, we use a software that allows us to communicate not just person to person, not just to have that customer service type person on site, but allows them to stay up to speed minute by minute through the power of this portal that we use that communicates in an HOA market. It would communicate to the whole board, to the property management company, and it updates them on the progress that we're having, any issues. We take pictures, we upload those, videos, anything like that. So yes, that is one of the pieces that's going to convert property managers and community boards, HOA boards, to want to do business with you, is that customer experience while the crews are on site. So it is one piece of it, man. But I think that it's that understanding what they've got up front, and then creating a solution that really works for them, that's tailored to them, and then on the backside, showing them that you're going to be in constant communication with them and utilizing and leveraging technology to be able to do that. And that gives them a ton of value that usually they don't get from other contractors. So I hope that helps, guys. I know we're probably boring the people that aren't contractors here, but we got a lot of contractors on this morning. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. So good morning to Dom, Justin, Trudy, Bruce. What's happening, man? See who else is here. Carrie Ann, what's happening? Good morning. Paula, what's happening? AJ, Dina, good morning, guys. Thank you guys for being here. And Don Manzo, by the way, if there's anything that I said there that you want more clarification on, I think you have my phone number. So call me, man. No problem. I'll help you in any way that I can. The second question that I got this week was around, I'm doing a 1 hour talk in Nashville, Tennessee at the National Pavement Expo on culture is king. And so I got a question from somebody about, what are you going to be talking about during this culture program, during this culture talk that I'm giving. And, I think, guys, that honestly, culture is super easy. I should say it's super simple. It's not easy, because anytime, you can have a plan, you can have the best plan. But when we involve people in the plan, it gets complicated, because all of us have, challenges. We've got our personal stuff. I've got my kids, my wife to balance. Those kids get sick sometimes. And so, the whole idea of people coexisting in this, in this society that we have today, where everything's a distraction and everything's a little bit more difficult and fast moving than it has been in the past. It really takes going back to the old school, in my opinion, in a lot of ways, to create that culture that you want. And number one, and this isn't, this is just a Cliff's Notes version of my opinion of why culture is so important. I'm not going to go through the whole agenda and spoil what I'm talking about at the National Pavement Expo. But when you get into culture in today's world, the number one thing that you have to do is you have to create core values. You have to figure out, what identity does your company want to have? And these things, guys, are based on, they're called core values for a reason. They're not based on revenue. They're not based on profits. They're based on, what is the identity, the personality of your business? What is that going to stand for? And so once you identify those core values, here's where I see people go sideways in culture in their business, is that they will allow someone to violate those core values for an extended period of time and allow them to get away with it because of their role within that organization. And listen, there's always going to be times within your business that somebody violates one of your core values. You coach that, you address that situation, and you get it back on track to what you believe in. Because if you don't hold those people accountable, you don't have those types of conversations about your core values and about holding people accountable to standing up for what we all agreed we believe in, then eventually you're going to have a fractured environment within your company. And that's going to lead to very bad things. It's going to lead to people thinking that what you say you stand for is just a piece of paper. And in today's world, what you do by creating this culture and then also in addition to that, sharing this culture, so being open about what you stand for and who you are and what you believe in and spreading that on social media platforms, conversations with people at networking events, those types of things. What you get by doing that is that you start to build a really strong culture that everybody believes in because they hear it over and over and over again. And then beyond that, you start to build a culture that people outside your business, whether it be other people in your industry, people like some of the people who are on this stream that follow the Pavement Group, they know what we stand for. They know who we are. They know what kind of things that we try to bring to our customers. And so you bring a community of people around your company that are all pushing it forward and creating a culture that is really electric and it's infectious. And so from that culture also creates enormous opportunities for recruiting, for getting better people inside your company. And also people won't try to get into your company that don't believe what you believe when you make that public. So when you make these statements and these core values, you don't have to go out there and post your core values. It's better if people see you exhibit these behaviors, if you're actually walking the walk, not just talking about it. And then from that perspective, the people that believe what you believe are magnetically going to be attracted to your business. And that's going to create a community of support, a whole lot of people that want to see your company and the people within it winning. So it starts with common sense. It starts with treating people with respect. It starts with listening from the ground level up and listening to what's going on and enabling people to have a voice within your company, no matter what position they're in. It makes no difference if you have 4 layers of leadership in your company, where people are reporting to different level leaders, all that kind of stuff. If you are a high-level, executive-level leader and you're not listening to the people who are at the line level on a regular basis, you are missing all kinds of stuff. Because I don't care how good your leaders are, they are leaving out things to tell you that don't benefit them. They are watering down the message as it comes up the ladder. So if you are not leading your organization from a ground-up approach, you are not going to build a solid culture in today's world. And so if those people aren't heard within your company, they're going to go be heard somewhere else, either in a different company, or they're going to get frustrated and they're going to put all of their frustrations out into the world, or worse than that, online where everybody can read it. And so in today's world, guys, it takes that communication. And one of the things that I said last night, I was at a couple-hour church meeting last night, but one of the things that I said to those guys is we were talking about the world of social media and how that's such a beneficial way to connect people and bring people together and scale any situation that you're working on. But at the same time, guys, here's what people do in today's world is they lose what got them there. And what gets you there is that person-to-person connection of really building a real relationship. So when you leverage those two together, one of the things we say in our company is we utilize technology at every twist and turn that we can to both increase efficiency and reduce expenses and pass that savings along to our customers, while at the same time still doing business the old-fashioned way by looking people in the eye and shaking their hands. And that combination of advanced technology, advanced solutions that simplify every process, procedure, and things that go on inside your company while never becoming that corporate monster that everybody dislikes. Because the reality is that all corporations are run with a very good structure. They didn't get that big by lacking process and structure. But what happens, guys, is that they lose their personal connection because they get too many leaders within their company that don't care in that fashion that I'm describing. To have those one-on-one conversations, to actually listen to what the people at the line level that are actually turning the gears of that company, what problems they think exist. So they just continue to tell people what to do without listening to them on how it can be done better. And so when you do those things, you start to lose the respect and the motivation and the desire for those people to continue pouring into your company in the way that they can, in the way that they want to, and in the way that they did when they came to your company and they were so excited. So I hope that's helpful, and I hope that gives you guys, it's a long-winded response on culture, but I'm pretty passionate about it. So I hope, number one, I hope that every contractor on here signs up for the Leadership Boot Camp, and we've got an hour to talk about culture, and we're gonna drive it home, man. We're gonna talk about what it takes in today's world, because employees today want to be treated differently. And by the way, the whole thing about millennials and the identity that people give them is a bunch of crap. It's not true, because our entire company is successful on the backs of millennials. It is what you put into them is what they're going to believe about themselves. So if you want to make them believe that all millennials are a certain way, then don't be surprised when they start behaving that way. But if you treat them the way that they deserve to be treated, they're going to do incredible things like the people in our company that would be considered millennials do. So that's food for thought. As you go into work today, don't paint people with a brush. Treat them how you want them to act, and they will do that. What will you guys be talking about at the Gold Digger Retreat? Man, that's a long one. We only got 7 minutes here, so I'm going to try to pack this one in, and then I'm going to try to give you guys a couple of books that I'm reading right now that might be helpful to you. So we've kind of created this agenda in a fashion that's going to help people really understand where they're at right now and where they want to go. And so we've got 3 full days of content. The morning is going to be more kind of life development stuff, and then we've got some tactical business knowledge, sales, leadership, marketing, all that kind of stuff. We've got speakers lined up to do this, but I want to give you guys kind of the idea, the framework of what we came up with and why. So what I believe is that people on a daily basis really sell themselves short of their capabilities, including myself. I'm working on it, and I'm going to give you guys a book that I'm reading that's helping me kind of uncover a lot of this stuff. So what we wanted to do was really spend some time exploring what is blocking us from creating the life that we truly desire. So what are those things? And we've got exercises that we're going to go through, like get up and move and complete these tasks that are going to help us uncover the things that are mentally blocking us from doing what we're supposed to do. And that is really uncovering the fear that you have as to why you're not achieving what you want to achieve. And the reality is, it's a whole blueprint of different things. Day 1, we're going to help people uncover those fears, that blueprint that's kind of blocking them from exponentially doing whatever it is that they want to do in life. And at the end of that day, we've got an unbelievable exercise that's going to unlock a whole lot of stuff and show people what they're really capable of. So that's day 1. Day 2 is going to be working in groups, interactive, actually going through the exercises and structure of exactly how to design the life that you want, and then create accountability within the groups that are there to help you push that forward. And we're going to give you real tactical steps to be able to create that exact plan and then put timelines to it and all those types of things that are proven success methods over a history of thousands of years. So that's day 2. So day 1 is uncover your fear. Day 2 is design and discover the life that you want. And day 3, which I think is one that so many people miss, is actually protecting the dreams that you have. So it's not about just the dreams that you have and what you're trying to accomplish. It actually comes down to, can you protect that from the nonsense that happens to all of us on an everyday basis. I just had it happen to me yesterday. It was like just tidal wave after tidal wave after tidal wave of just bullshit coming my way. And so to a lot of you guys, you probably look at it and think that, like, you know, that stuff doesn't happen to everybody. It absolutely does. Everybody is dealing with a different set of problems. So to answer your question in short, it is uncovering your fears, designing the life that you want, and then learning the things, the triggers that exist in life of what what you have to recognize to be able to protect that and actually be able to achieve it. Because you could have the best plan, but if you don't know how to deal with the adversity and the things that are going to come and punch you in the face, your plan's going to go down the toilet quick. And most people, everybody teaches you how to make a plan, right? Everybody's heard of, making it timely, setting a specific date, this, that, be specific, measurable, all that kind of stuff. But nobody ever tells you how to protect it. When the train comes off the tracks, what do you do? And how do you deal with that? So those are the three things that we're going to talk about. We can get into more of the contractor content, but man, I can tell you this, we got some marketing fuel that's going into that deal that's going to be unbelievable. Like, people are going to leave there knowing how to market their business, sell better, lead better, all of those things. They're gonna leave that 4 or 5 days in the Caribbean with a whole new lease on life. So I am fired up about that. So some of the ways that I try, guys, to overcome some of the things that we're talking about and be able to figure out how to do all this better myself, right? So for me to be able to teach others, I first have to be able to teach myself. And so I read. So I got, this is one of the books that I'm reading right now, The Owner's Manual for the Brain. Check that sucker out, man. It's like, this is the heaviest book that I've read since I had to read a book in school or college or something. But that is one of them. I'm reading Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life. I'm reading that one right now. I read, typically I got about 3 books going at any given time, and the ones that I read are all specific to just kind of how I'm feeling at that moment. I've got some books that I read over and over and over again because there's so much value in them, and I interweave that into everything that I talk about, everything I share with my team, everything I share with you guys. And everybody that you guys are listening to, if they're an influencer or that information that they're sharing with you, it's coming from something that they're consuming, right? It's either books, life experiences, conversations, other influencers, anything like that, that they, education classes that they're taking. All of that stuff blends in to you being able to share that with other people. And so I want to start sharing some of those books that I'm reading with you guys, so that, if you choose, you can start to, consume some of the same content. I read this book every single morning. This is just a 1-pager, but it's Daily Moments of Strength. It's a Bible verse. Every single day, there's a spiritual verse in here that I read, and it's dated. So, you can see, I don't know if you guys can see that, but just 1 page. It's real quick, and that's how I start my day. Every single morning I go through the same routine, and that book is part of it, and that's, me putting on my spiritual armor, getting ready for the day. So I got to drop, guys, because I got an 8 o'clock call here, but I appreciate you guys tuning in. A bunch of you guys were on here the entire time, so I appreciate you guys. Dina, Justin, Trisha, those are the last comments that I see here. Trudy, you guys are awesome. So I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I will see you guys again Monday morning right here, same place, same time, 7:30 a.m. on Morning Perspective. I appreciate you guys and love you guys.